Okay. Here is
Those things
our
are going
thing.
for 500, but you wait like a couple of months.
Yeah.
I'll be on clearance.
Welcome, everyone.
Hey.
We are live.
Live for the first time in a couple of weeks.
Live for episode 255.
Oh, look at that.
It rhymes.
It does.
Isn't that fun?
I love it.
Yeah. Yeah. We're going to be talking about San Diego Comic-Con. We're going to be talking about
Lion King.
Her Universe Fashion Show. We've got, let's see,
and
what
we're
else?
Talking about the life and career of Rutger Hauer.
Indeed.
Join us, will you?
Yeah, that would be fun. Please do. And then, Richard, you ask them a question while I share this out.
We have two people so far. Who are we? Oh, can you put the comments?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do right now.
So we can read them.
Yes.
Everyone had a good week. And where are you? And what's the temperature? Here it's like 99 degrees.
Oh, there we go. Live now. I'm going to put this up. And then we'll be able to share
Y'all been following the Comic-Con news?
Woo!
If you have or have not, you'll be hearing a lot here today on Skywalking.
Oh, no, I'm not ready.
No, of course not.
Well, I gotta share this
I didn't ask you
with
what time
everyone.
it was. I just wanted you to finish the sentence. Skywalking.
Have them finish the sentence. In fact, can you guys type something in the comments because I want to make sure that we can see them.
Go ahead and just type up anything.
And yeah.
Anything you like.
Copy. Okay, let's see. Tweet.
Get the Lion King song stuck in my head.
Do
do do do do do do do. Do. All right, gonna be beginning in a couple of seconds here.
Yeah, I don't see any comments though. Hopefully you guys can comment. I know sometimes it's hard
if you're
it's
a little sticky.
Well, sometimes if you're visually impaired too, it's really weird to do comments on live video as well. So I'm sorry if that's the case. I don't know why that happens. We are writing to them. We are live now talking Lion King.
Now, what else do y'all want to hear about? What else do you guys want us to talk about? Or you can join in the discussion. Comic-Con, Marvel Phase 4.
Is this right, Rutger?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Perfect. Okay. I hope you get, are we getting the comments? It says top chat. Hold on, let me see if I can change this to live chat. There we go. And then we are going to share on the Mac.
Yeah, just watch yours.
Yes, I think I only do that when I'm like concentrating on something else.
Okay.
Like this.
Oh, good afternoon. Here we got
Yay!
a comment.
Hi, Dynamo. Good. Well, so
we know it's working.
It's working. Yay. Okay, perfect. I will share. Bam. Oops. Oh. I was trying to do something and it didn't work.
All right. Any second now, we will begin the big show. Number 255, and we are live.
We are live. Thank you all for joining us. Okay, let me set this up here. Bing. And, oh, hey.
I am alive, Johnny 5.
What's that from?
Short Circuit, 1985.
Oh, yeah, that was good.
Johnny 5 is alive.
That was good stuff. Okay, so we are stopped with the top chat. I don't know why it does that. Okay.
Dynamo 75 says, good morning. Good afternoon.
Good
and
afternoon.
Reynold, hey.
So, did we
see the new Lion King movie yet? We did, and we have lots to say about it.
Yes, we're going to talk a lot now. Oh, wait a minute.
And like we'll say later on.
Let's turn on your microphone.
Like we'll say later on, there are spoilers. However, if you saw the animated version, then you know all about it.
Yeah, then you're good. Yeah. Okay.
Dynamo 75, did you see Lion King?
Yeah. Did you?
And what were your thoughts in 75 paragraphs or less?
And then here's the monitor, although we are going to be talking from our notes.
Okay.
Partly from our notes. Wow! 8 of you here so far. Awesome. Thank you, everyone. Okay, I feel weird not putting on headphones for some reason, but
Was not a
fan. Nice.
Yeah, you weren't the only one.
Yeah. I think you
However,
either
it
loved
made
it.
so much money.
It did. I think you either loved it because you were nostalgic, or you're like, why did we need this? Because it's the exact same thing.
And there wasn't that much else to see over the weekend, so it's something new.
Yeah, but let's talk about it a little later.
Okay.
I know we're getting ahead of ourselves, but you started us off on a track,
Yes.
Dynamo. Okay, I'm gonna hit record.
Not Dynamo, it's Dynamo 75.
Ooh.
Not 74 or 76. It's Dynamo 75.
I'm sorry, Dynamo 75.
Just don't know when to stop.
Okay, we are recording. So welcome, Skywalkers, and here we go. This is what you can look forward to on episode 255 of Skywalking Through Neverland.
Hey, Skywalkers! Did you brave the Comic-Con, yeah. Alright. Hey, Skywalkers! Did you brave the Comic-Con crowds over the weekend? Or did you just watch from afar on your social media? Well, either way, we have lots to talk about, but now we want to welcome you to Skywalking Through Neverland. We are your podcast destination for the many decades of your Star Wars, Disney, and Marvel fandom. I am Richard Wolofsky, but now everyone please say hello to my Comic-Con princess sweetie, Sarah. Hey, Comic-Con princess sweetie, my wife, Sarah.
Wow. Can you call me that all the time? Every day?
I do call you that all the time. It's whether or not you listen.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, Skywalkers, we want to welcome you, and it's time to give you a big Wookiee hug. You are our family of Skywalkers, and we want to thank you for listening to the show every single week. Also, we want to welcome any new Skywalkers. If this is your first time listening, thank you so much. And right now, we are live on YouTube right now, so you guys are SkyTubers.
Hey, SkyTubers. Thanks for joining us.
We just love it when you share our joy in this adventure through fandom.
Now, we are recording this from Long Beach, California on July 23rd, 2019. Sarah, I can see you're not getting your watch ready.
Oh, it is?
Yeah. Oh, is Minnie ready?
Yes, she is.
Oh, my mistake. You know what? I underestimated you and Minnie Mouse, and I apologize. All right, so Minnie, what time is it?
It's 1:48. Good afternoon.
It's
Wow.
1:48.
Good afternoon. Love it.
Aww. Well, this episode of Skywalking Through Neverland is proudly sponsored by Small World Vacations. They are a diamond-level Disney vacation planner travel agency and can help book your trip to Galaxy's Edge or any other Disney property on either coast. Best of all, this service is free of charge. So head to smallworldvacations.com for a no-obligation price quote and tell them Skywalking Through Neverland sent you.
And then tell them, till the spire. Because chances are, you're going to be going to Galaxy's Edge sometime soon. Because they just announced the cast opening for Galaxy's Edge at Disney World.
Oh, yes, the cast previews.
The cast preview. That's coming up in a couple of weeks on August the 10th.
Yay.
So book your airfare now if you have a friend over there and who's a cast member and you want to happen to drop in on them and say, hey, if you're going, I just flew all the way here through Small World Vacations. Why don't I go with you? I got all this figured out. All right, now let's tell everyone what's coming up on this episode. We're going to recap some big news and share our experiences at Comic-Con from last weekend. This includes the Big Hall H Marvel panel, the Her Universe fashion show, and some fun off-site experiences. Boy, if you haven't done that, the off-site experiences, you can spend pretty much the whole weekend doing that.
Yeah, you can have a blast at Comic-Con even without a badge.
Yeah, there's exhibits, there's previews, there's just all kinds of things all going around everywhere within like the 10-mile radius.
Mm-hmm. Yes, we also have some fun shout-outs when you met the locals of Batuu at Galaxy's Edge.
But now here are things
we want to share.
But now here are things we want to share.
Yes, Spider-Man
And Picard.
Yes.
Oh, man.
We're gonna share that.
Oh, man, alive. The museum.
Oh my goodness.
If you're
Okay.
a fan of Picard, you'll have a lot of fun with this.
TNG. Oh, so cool.
All right.
Okay.
Well, pop culture suffered a loss today when Rutger Hauer passed away at the age of 75. Now, a lot of you Skywalkers know him from 1982's Blade Runner, where he played Roy Batty opposite Harrison Ford. And he was also in the films Batman Begins. He was in Smallville, the TV series, Sin City, The Hitcher. Ugh, what a gruesome film that was. Lady Hawk, and one of my favorite films from 1981, Nighthawks, with Billy D. Williams. Now, his final scene in Blade Runner, where he is expiring as a replicant, that has to go down as one of the best death/monologue scenes in cinema history. Check this out and grab a tissue.
I don't think Spider-Pan knew Rutger Hauer.
Oh.
Sorry, Spider-Pan. That news is over Twitter. What? I don't know. I wasn't
like
here.
all afternoon.
Okay, I was working, but
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, he was the villain on Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Okay.
If you go to Rutger Hauer's IMDb page, he's got like pages and pages of film roles.
Wow.
But of course, Blade Runner, I think, is his most crowning achievement, and that's one of those characters, Roy Batty. If you see him at Comic-Cons and conventions, someone dressed up as him, but it's very, very subtle because he just pretty much wears a black trench coat and like white spiky hair.
Okay.
And his scene and his role in Blade Runner was one of those very understated villain roles. And at that point in 1982, I'd never seen a villain portrayed the way he was. Very sincere, very gentle, all until the moment where he poked Tyrell's eyes out of his head. Up until then, he was a very nice guy. he was a very kind-hearted soul.
Okay.
Just don't look at that
until that point.
scene where he squishes Tyrell's head in and
Ew.
squishes his eyes. Well, okay, but you know what? Roy Batty, Rutger Hauer, you will be missed. And in Nighthawks, I gotta say this, he played a character called Wolfgar. Isn't that one of the best names ever?
That's a great name. I love that.
Wolfgar. Love it. So once again, Roy Batty. So once again, Rutger Hauer, you will be missed.
Well, guess who's been having a good week?
Well, guess who's been having a good week?
Okay, you can say it, yeah.
Well, now, guess who's been having a good week?
Well, if you said Disney, you would be very, very right.
Avengers Endgame just took... Alright. Okay, but now, guess who's been having a good week? If you said Disney, you would be so right. Avengers Endgame just overtook Avatar to become the highest grossing worldwide release of all time, with a total gross of $2.7 billion.
Jeez.
Now, 854 million of that was from the domestic release.
Wow, so it didn't cross 1 billion domestic. No, I guess it couldn't have, because the record for domestic release is The Force Awakens with like 900 something.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they still haven't passed that, but doesn't Disney now own Avatar?
Disney now owns everything. just assume that Disney now owns everything.
Oh, until Mr. Rogers' movie with Tom Hanks takes #1 later. What is that? Something about Mr. Rogers? Yeah, that looked really good. Oh man, wow. Tom Hanks is like the perfect Mr. Rogers.
Now, if you can't wait to watch, Endgame at home, well, you only have a few more days until July 30th when it hits its digital services.
Nice.
When it hits digital services, and the Blu-ray hits the shelves on August 13th for the low price of $19.99.
Really?
Yes.
Wow. Okay, and it will also hit Disney Plus on December 11th, 2019, which I find interesting because...
Bob Iger just confirmed that.
Okay, but the Disney Plus starts on November 12th, so why won't it be available November 12th?
You gotta ask Bob. Get him on the phone.
Okay. Unless that was a mistake and he meant to do 11, 12, 19.
Now, for those of you who are going to get the Endgame DVD or see it on digital streaming, and you just can't wait for these special features, well, we have a list of those right here, and these sound awesome. Now, there's going to be an exclusive highlighting the love story of Steve Rogers and Peggy Carter.
What?
I'm not sure what exactly that means.
I'm very excited about this.
I don't know what that means. Is it like a short? Something maybe they shot during Infinity War and Endgame?
I don't know.
I don't know, but that sounds like it could be something that should spin up to its own series. There's another special feature called Remembering Stan Lee. Filmmakers and cast honor the great Stan Lee and a fun look back at his MCU movie cameos.
Aww.
That'll be fun.
That will be. I'm looking forward to that.
Now this one here, I can't wait to see myself. It's Setting the Tone, casting Robert Downey Jr. Hear the tale of how Robert Downey Jr. was cast as Tony Stark in the original Iron Man and launched the MCU.
Wow.
All right, I see a discrepancy there. I think Howard the Duck in 1986, he launched the MCU. Unofficially.
Richard?
Unofficially. According to me.
Okay. Not according to me.
No, but according to me. Okay.
All right. What else are special features here?
All right. There's also a special feature called "A Man Out of Time: Creating Captain America." Trace the evolution of Captain America with those who helped shape the look, the feel, and the character of his compelling hero. Now this one here, I think is going to be, this should be #1 on the special features. It's Black Widow, Whatever It Takes. So I hope they're going to really go into the Black Widow movie.
Oh.
But the description here says, follow Black Widow's journey both within and outside the Avengers, including the challenges she faced and overcame along the way.
That sounds like the Black Widow movie. What?
Maybe that'll be a special feature.
I don't know. That's confusing.
Yeah, I really hope they roll this into a Black Widow. Well, they won't do like a sizzle reel, nothing like that.
No.
But just something that really preps us for the Black Widow movie.
Okay.
All right, further down the list, the Russo brothers' journey to Endgame. See how Anthony and Joe Russo met the challenge of helming two of the biggest films in cinematic history back to back.
Okay, so having been to the press conferences for both Infinity War and Endgame, Anthony and Joe Russo have a lot to say on this subject because they talked about that a lot at the press conferences and it was extremely fascinating. So to see it in a nice little bite-sized, extra feature will be great.
All right, next up we have the women of the MCU. MCU women share what it was like to join forces for the first time in an epic battle scene and be part of such a historic ensemble.
Nice.
Right. Check this one out. Bro Thor.
Oh.
His appearance has changed, but his heroism remains. Go behind the scenes to see how Bro Thor was created.
Bro Thor? didn't we call him...
The Big Lebowski Thor?
Lebowski Thor. Thor Lebowski.
Thor Lebowski, yeah, that's the one.
Oh, I saw someone at Comic-Con dressed as Thor
There
Lebowski.
were a lot of Thor Lebowskis at Comic-Con.
It's like all of a sudden, regular people could dress as Thor.
It took me about 4 or 5 of those to go, oh, I know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think one of them had like Mjolnir just kind of hanging from his belt, and that's when I got it. I looked up because he's wearing like a flannel shirt, and I looked up and he had like the Thor wig, and I'm like, oh, okay, I get
If he
it.
was walking around playing Fortnite or something, sitting in his Barca lounger, that would have tipped me off.
Nice.
All right. Also in the special features, of course, there will be... Now, also in the special features, of course, there will be 6 deleted scenes. Love those. A gag reel. Love that. And an audio commentary by directors Anthony and Joe Russo and writers Christopher Marcus and Stephen McFeely.
Okay. I wish Victoria Alonso was on that list as well. She's one of the producers, or I think she's the executive producer. It'd be interesting to see her take on that too.
It's always good to hear some of the actors behind the scenes stories too.
Definitely. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, everyone has different,
The different takes on what happened.
Exactly.
With the directors and the writers, they'll get into the really nitty gritty. but I want to hear the fun stories that happen behind the scenes.
Mm-hmm.
All right, now, this wasn't all of Disney's big news over the weekend. Their live-action Lion King made a record-breaking $185 million over their opening weekend starting on July 19th. And as of last Monday, the Lion King hit $212 million.
Wow.
Those are some very happy stockholders.
Yes, yes. Now, usually we do a whole episode on Disney's new films, but San Diego Comic-Con kind of threw us off our schedule just a bit. So we're going to roll in and share some thoughts on The Lion King right now, especially about the press conference which we attended. And a lot of the story of The Lion King, the more interesting part of it is how they made it. So we're going to get into that as well. Now, FYI, there will be spoilers, though. If you've seen the original 1994 animated Lion King, well, this is not a problem. So, here we go, Richard. Are you ready?
I am ready.
So, Disney's reimagining of The Lion King 2019 is directed by Jon Favreau. Why do I keep going? Jean-Luc Picard. Jon Favreau. Okay, it's directed by Jon Favreau and includes the all-star cast of Donald Glover as the voice of Simba, Beyonce is Nala, and then we have Pumbaa and Timon played by Seth Rogen and Billy Eichner, respectively. And then we have the voice of Scar, Chiwetel Ejiofor. Chiwetel, yes.
Chewbacca who?
Yes.
Who?
And the voice of Sarabi is Alfred Woodard. Now, you might recognize the voice of Mufasa, which is still James Earl Jones. And also, Hans Zimmer and Lebo M are also back, and they are helming the soundtrack and its African elements.
Now, if you're going to get James Earl Jones back, just get everybody back.
Yeah, it's not like it matters, it's animated.
Yeah,
right?
and, and if you're going to bring him back, then all you hear is the animated film. I know it's that one tie-in to the animated film, but whenever I heard his voice, I just kept thinking, I wonder if they took his vocal tracks from the original and just dubbed them in here.
No, they didn't.
I know they didn't,
Yeah.
but believe me, I love hearing James Earl Jones. I could hear him all day long.
Yeah.
However, maybe they should have chosen somebody else just to get an all-new cast.
I think people would be upset, though, if they did that.
Well, they got everyone, they replaced
Yeah.
everybody else. And believe me, I want to hear James Earl Jones doing all the voices. However, for something like this, I would just like to hear a new take, a new actor, because once again, I'm hearing his voice and I'm just thinking, I'm just hearing Darth Vader.
Okay.
I'm hearing Darth Vader, I'm hearing Mufasa.
Remember who you are. I can't do it. Just FYI.
Yeah, I'm just tying it back to the original, and I wanted to have a whole new perspective on this film, and guess what? I didn't get that. So that leads into our first question, the question we always ask when going into a remake of a Disney film or a reimagining. Do we need this film?
Whew, this is a big, big question, and we've of course asked this of Beauty and the Beast, and Aladdin, and Dumbo, and The Jungle Book, and I think we pretty much said yes to each of these, right? There's something that changed, the story was updated for 2019, like, it's just different, you know? But Lion King, after seeing this one, honestly, I don't think we really needed it. Yes, it's nostalgic, but to me, I'm watching this and I know the original pretty well. Like it was my favorite soundtrack of all the Disney films, the actual score, and it was just I've watched it a lot. I mean, it came out in that time when you're like repeatedly watching Disney movies. So it's just like a complete copy of the original 94 film with some minor differences here and there. I mean, the opening scene is shot for shot. And when you see that in the trailer, it's amazing and nostalgic. And yes, I was totally bawling my eyes out at the last D23 Expo when we saw that.
And that's when we started asking the question, if the whole film is going to be like this?
Right.
A replica? do we need this?
Right. And so, like, the pacing of this film is the same. The soundtrack, the score, like, by Hans Zimmer, like, beat for beat and note for note, there are, like, the same things happening. You see what's happening on the screen, the score is the same, the exact same from the original. Now, different instruments are brought up in the mix sometimes, but for the most part, it's like, the phrasing, everything. So, I don't know, like... to me, it was not necessary.
But
So-
apparently it was necessary to all the millions of people who saw it because it made a fortune.
Indeed, and also on our network, I know Teresa Delgado watched it and thought it was like the best live-action remake yet.
Yeah, but
So-
watch the box office numbers next week. It's gonna take a huge dive.
Right. So now, Richard, you don't know the original film as well. So what was your opinion upon watching this?
Well, if something doesn't need an update or improve on the original, then that is a big no, we don't need it. Aladdin was great because Jasmine, she became a fully realized character in the live action remake of a couple of weeks ago, where she became the Sultan, didn't need a prince.
Yeah.
And
She had a new song, she had a friend.
yeah, exactly. So I think for Aladdin, yes, we needed it. For The Lion King, I didn't see anything that was improved on or updated, so I'm gonna say no. And this film played more like a Disney nature film than a Lion King remake. And what they did with the effects, it was phenomenal. And I still can't believe that everything we saw was digital.
Right.
So if you want to just practice your digital effects with these creatures, with these animals that we all know, when you see a rancor move, it's like, well, I don't know how a rancor really moves, so that could be right. But we've all seen lions and animals at the zoo, so we have a pretty good idea. And if they're gonna go there, then just do another Disney nature film using lions. But if you're gonna go all digital, all with everything, then I would suggest make them a little over the top. Make them a little bit more, I would say, kid friendly. I can't see these toys flying off the shelves
Okay.
the way they did for the 1984 animated film because they were just regular animals. I wanted to see them a little bit more cartoony if you're going to do this. But in the end, do we need to do this? No.
Now, Justin Smith brings up a good point in that there are a lot of kids who've never seen the original Lion King. And from what Teresa told me, the original Lion King is in the vault right now. So if you don't have it, like, on your shelves, then you haven't maybe watched it, like maybe kids who are born in the last 5 years. You know, they have not seen it if their parents don't have the Lion King on their shelves.
Well, I'm sure someone has got it. If it's an uncle or an aunt or bigger brother or sister, or probably see it at a thrift store in the DVD sections. There's a
Right.
million ways to get The Lion King. I'm sure it's on YouTube somehow, somewhere. So I just, you know what? That's next time we're at Disneyland, we'll have to just ask around.
Yeah.
I love talking to people in line.
Like, and kids and stuff.
Yeah, first you gotta talk to their parents before you start talking to the kids, or
Yeah, that's
yeah, but it's good to take those kind of surveys and just ask people how they know of such things. Like when we were at Bugs Land, what, a year or two ago, we were asking people, so how do you kids know Bugs Life? How do you kids know Bugs Life? And parents would say, well, we have it on VHS, we have it on DVD, streaming, but the kids knew those characters, which was shocking to me.
Yeah.
When was the last time you heard any kid talking about Bugs Life? Exactly.
Okay.
Well, let me ask you this now. With all that, are there any differences between the 1994 animated film and this film?
So, yes, there are a few. In song terms, there's a new short song that's sung by Beyonce and created by Beyonce called Spirit, and that's when Simba is returning to the Pride Lands. So that's brand new. And then Be Prepared, which is sung by Scar, is a little different as well. There's definitely some different instrumentation and drum beats, and the whole first, verse, the whole first verse is different. So that was different. But one thing that I loved, so that was different, but one thing that was different in the music was Can You Feel the Love Tonight? Now, this scene, this is an iconic song. It's kind of the love story between Nala and Simba. And, I remember watching the original, and you get them singing, but they're not singing with their mouths. They're like lapping water, and then as they sing, they're like what is that called when you're monologue? Thank you.
Wait a minute, is this like that Superman Lois Lane song?
Kind of, yes. So they're like lapping. So it shows a shot of Simba. He's like lapping up the water, and his monologue's going on, and then the shot switches, and now she's lapping the water, and then her monologue goes on. So many things to tell her, but how to make her see. Anyway,
they're singing in their minds.
Yes.
How do they know when the next person's line comes in, or no, how do they know not to overlap each other or sing in the right key?
Well,
it's all mental. I don't get this.
I think you're going beyond that point. My point is, as they were doing this in now this remake of The Lion King, Can You Feel the Love Tonight? The scene is shot for shot, except it's during the day. Now tell me if this makes sense to you.
It does make a whole lot of sense, because if you're paying these digital artists this much money and spending this much time, you don't want to do it at night where you can't see the animals. You want to do it during the daytime where you can see everything.
I just didn't understand that.
Did my explanation help you?
Yes, it did. But there was one really good thing about the difference between the 94 film and this one, and that is Pumbaa and Timon, with improv lines by Seth Rogen and Billy Eichner. Like, I thought they were great. So there was some really funny lines, and I'm not going to give away one of the really funniest ones that happens in their song, but in Hakuna Matata, but it was great. So that was one thing I really appreciated.
Hold on, Justin Smith on YouTube, one of our face tubers, Sky Tubers, he said, "My nieces haven't seen The Lion King. My sister doesn't want to expose them to Mufasa dying."
Yeah.
Well, then your nieces can't see any Disney movies.
Finding Nemo, nope.
Bambi,
nope.
Frozen.
Yeah. Oh man.
You name it.
Yeah. Tarzan.
Yeah. So they're just stuck watching the Illumination films. Mm-hmm. How many times can you watch the Minions?
Go ahead. So I guess, if you have that nostalgia, please go see The Lion King, see how it stacks up. If you love beautiful scenery and, just seeing an event film in the theater, definitely go see it. But to me, the making of The Lion King is the more fascinating story. So I want to go over a little of what we learned at the press conference held on July 10th in Beverly Hills. And Jon Favreau was there, Hans Zimmer was there, and I got a really terrible selfie with him. It's like really awful. But I should share it on social media just for the heck of it.
Oh, that'd be a good category. The world's worst selfies.
Yeah.
Missed opportunities.
Totally. Okay, so this is how they filmed. Because Richard, I know you were asking after seeing this, like, they must have gone to Africa.
I would have bet my life that 99% of this was all real photography, real animals, real locations. But when you said no, it really wasn't. I'm still blown over by that.
Right. Yeah, so literally how they filmed was in a big black box theater type setting. So it's just a giant black soundstage. Thank you. That's the word I was looking for. And by the end of filming The Jungle Book, Jon Favreau and his team had figured out how to create a whole world in VR. So basically, what they created was a multiplayer VR game, but it was a filmmaking game. So literally, that means Jon could call on all the filmmakers that he was used to working with on real world films, like the DP, the director of photography, mm-hmm. the set people, all that stuff. But they would be wearing VR headsets, and they would set cameras in VR, and they could look around them and be like, oh, there's Pride Rock. Oh, there's the Elephant Graveyard. They were literally in the set, but it was in VR.
That that is just so mind-blowing.
It is.
And having seen some VR stuff at Comic-Con and how mind-blowing that can be, just games where you can tell they're animated video games, and to be in a location where everything looks so realistic, I wouldn't want to leave. Yeah, that just sounds so fascinating. What filmmaking has really changed.
It has.
Everything I learned in film school, yeah, out the window.
But what's interesting about this is the actors themselves were also on set in this VR set, but each one was mic'd. So instead of, like, you know, normally when actors voice something for animation, they're in a little padded room, right? And the director's like standing right there and it's just one person in the room, maybe a couple, and they're just reading lines based on what the director tells them or whoever's reading them lines. Well, in this setting, all the actors who were in a scene were on that VR set, and they were all mic'd individually so that they could move around and interact with each other, and also whatever they said would be usable in the filming in the film.
And they would see each other as those characters.
Yeah. So they could move around the room, they could interact like a theatrical production. Like there were some moments where the woman playing Shenzi would make the little boy playing Simba just very afraid because she'd get all up in his business and stuff. Like, and you don't get that if you're just recording in a little padded room. So that's one reason why I think Billy Eichner and Seth Rogen did so well, because they were in the room. Everything they recorded was together. They were in the same room.
Wow, that's just so mind-blowing. You know, I'd much rather see the making of this film than the film.
Oh, yeah. Well, and you mentioned how this reminded you of a Disney nature film. Well, that's no accident, because the filmmaking team referred to BBC documentaries and Disney nature films, not only for the look, but how much emotion can be expressed without human performance. Like what is it called when you make human expression on an inanimate object or an object?
It starts with an M.
Right. Well, you know
Anamorphic.
Anamorphic? Okay.
Okay, well, there's an M inside there.
Right. So they looked at documentaries and they saw how much expression and emotion could come out of these animals without having that human performance, but just using music and editing and that kind of thing to tell your story. So that's why, you know, you don't get these funky expressions on the characters. You know, Timon and Pumbaa aren't pulling faces.
Which is something I would like to see.
Right. Yeah, so that's how that film is created.
Wow, and I just can't get over the fact that they're in this location and looking at each other and looking at the character, not the actors. Like in Secrets of the Empire, the Star Wars VR game, when we look at each other, we don't see each other, we see each other as stormtroopers.
Yeah.
That technology, I can't get words around that.
It is really freaky. And just today, remember, we were looking up something on Amazon that we wanted to buy, and then I saw this little thing underneath. It was a puppet, and we were wondering how big it was, and then I saw this little thing underneath that said, "See this in your room." And I'm like, what? And I click on it, and it said, okay, pan your camera down to your feet, and I panned it, and then this little box appeared, and it goes, okay, now place it in the room. And I took my camera up, and it found a shelf, a counter in the kitchen, and it put the puppet on the counter, like how big it would be. Like, that's crazy.
As fun as it is playing with this new technology, it's gonna take over sooner or later. James Cameron was a prophet.
Yes. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, the Terminators will rise.
But so go to your Amazon app, because that's where I found that. Like, see if you can do that with other objects. Wow, it's crazy. Okay, now I do have to touch on the music, because at the press conference, Hans Zimmer was there, and Lebo M, who is the African music consultant, was also there. So Hans Zimmer, he gave us some more detail on the recording session for The Lion King, and it made me want to listen to the soundtrack and see this film again. And we'll play this here.
Okay.
So basically what Hans Zimmer did is he put together an orchestra and recorded it as a concert almost. So he invited all the filmmakers into the room so that the musicians weren't just playing to a dead air, sound studio. They were playing to people, and all the musicians knew every note because they had done concerts before of The Lion King, and it was very special.
Wow.
So there you go. Yeah, so, and in fact, if you do listen to the soundtrack, I can really hear some of what Hans Zimmer was talking about. Some of those big crescendo moments of the soundtrack, it's really beautiful, and you can tell that the musicians are totally into it.
Do you hear people sneezing and coughing and rattling gum wrappers in the audience
No.
on their cell phones?
We did not hear that.
No, okay.
No.
All right.
No, we
if
didn't.
If we're a movie, you'd hear all that.
We didn't hear the woman that was beside us chomping on her popcorn like her life depended on it.
All right, so to switch gears here.
Yes.
In Toy Story 4, at that moment where they had a nod to the Star Wars Kenner action figures, and a guy in front of me stood up, so I missed that one moment.
Like exactly at the moment where those figures appear.
The guy stood up and blocked my vision, and I heard you go, "Look, there's the Kenner action figures," which I haven't seen. However, now cut to The Lion King, and there's a woman who came in late.
Yep.
Who just started chomping on her popcorn.
Yum, 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 yum.
Like she was a cow.
Yeah,
What-
literally,
was it a cow?
Like she hadn't eaten anything all day, and then it's coming up to the moment where it's at night and Mufasa's about to give his son a lesson, and I leaned over to her and I was like, could you stop eating for just this one scene, please? Now she didn't stop eating, but she ate more quietly. I think she realized that she was being super annoying.
That was so... And I thought it was part of the soundtrack. Like, wow, listen to that thunder.
It was terrible.
Sounds like it's coming from 2 seats over. And it sounds like someone chomping popcorn, not thunder.
If she would have gone back and gotten another tub of popcorn, we would have moved down. We would have moved over.
Or do my trick of spilling water on the seat.
Oh.
That way they can't sit back down.
Yeah, I was almost ready to literally grab that popcorn tub from her and just take it away from her.
Lady, how do you not hear that?
Oh,
How do you not hear that loud crescendo happening inside of your mouth?
and I'm not even hyper vigilant like you.
That's all me. That's all me.
Wow.
Yeah, really, I thought it was thunder, or maybe you hear some background animals chewing on each other. Nope.
No.
Not at all.
Okay, well, we hope that someone didn't ruin your experience watching The Lion King. Now, if you go see it or if you have seen it, please let us know your thoughts. And before we move on this episode, I want to plug our YouTube channel because when we were at the press conference, it didn't begin with all the press conference people. It began with a blank stage. The room went dark, and all of a sudden, we heard Lee Boem singing the famous Na Svenya, and then the lights came on, and a whole choir was walking up the aisles around us, singing Circle of Life, and it ended up being the cast of Broadway's The Lion King. So that was really cool, and you can find that video on our YouTube channel. And it's under the Lion King playlist there.
That would have sounded really cool. However, the woman beside me was chomping on her popcorn.
Oh. Justin Smith says, you haven't seen it again? No, we
Is that everything?
Yes, that was everything.
All right, so Skywalkers, once again, let us know your opinions on The Lion King. Did we need it or not? Now, come with us as we look back at our San Diego Comic-Con experiences.
Nice.
Wasn't sure if you had some...
I did say that
Okay.
already. But that's okay. You put a break,
Yeah.
so we're good. Justin, no, we have not seen it again
One more
because...
Okay. All right, with that, now come with us as we look back at our San Diego Comic-Con exclusives. Exclusives.
You said it fine.
Okay, that's fine. All right,
Yes.
so Justin, so sorry to hear about your dad this morning.
What? Oh.
Oh, yeah, lost his dad this morning.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so sorry about that.
Oh, Justin. Yeah.
I hope we're bringing some kind of a
Yeah, I hope...
smile to your face.
I hope so,
Such a
yeah.
hard day.
Thanks for watching. We really appreciate that.
Yeah, anything we can do to help make your day, let us know.
Mm-hmm.
Or help you through this.
Okay. San Diego Comic-Con. All right, so, do you want me to say this?
Yeah, you want to start it off?
Okay. What's the promo clip? What do you? Oh,
I recorded a promo clip.
Oh, cool. Okay. San Diego Comic-Con. This is arguably the biggest convention in pop culture. I mean, it's up there with New York Comic-Con, and wow, this was our first time we've gone.
It's not really up there. It is the.
Oh, okay. Well, New York Comic-Con is pretty much.
But right now it's San Diego.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
One more time.
San Diego Comic-Con. This is arguably the biggest convention in pop culture.
Wait a minute. What about Kamikaze downtown LA?
Well, it's no longer called Kamikaze anymore. It's called Los Angeles Comic-Con. Sorry, but it's like for the past 2 years.
All right. One more time.
San Diego Comic-Con is arguably the biggest convention in pop culture.
And this is why we haven't been there in 10 years.
Because it's gotten so crazy, crowded, and crazy.
Even on Thursday, which was the slowest day of all the days, it was jam-packed crowded.
It was, and this is the first time we've gone in 10 years.
10 years for the whole weekend. Now, there was a couple of years where we went for like a couple of hours.
That's true.
And said never again.
Yeah. But we want to give a big thank you to Margaret Mays for putting us up. And we also met up with fun Skywalkers there. We saw Brian Sims and Kai Charles, Trisha and BJ. We saw Cole Horton. Who else did we see?
We saw a lot of people.
Adam Bray. Yeah, James Jawa.
Yeah, now that you ask, my head's gone like...
Of course.
I was trying to search for names. But once again, you gotta give a huge Wookiee hug to Margaret Mays and her 3 cats for putting us up.
And putting up with us.
Yeah. We'd ask Margaret to post a picture of one of her cats because the cat has got like big manga eyes.
Oh, yeah.
I've never seen a cat with eyes that big.
It was crazy. Wow.
But thanks to Margaret for putting us up because she only lives a couple of doors down from the convention center. And at the point we knew where we were going to go to Comic-Con, all the hotels within miles and within cities were all sold out.
Right. Yeah, we also want to thank San Diego Comic-Con because we got media passes, which is why we went this year, because we wanted to check it out and we all wanted to share our experience, which is what we're doing now.
And a big Wookiee hug to you, Comic-Con. Now, this convention solidified my belief that if you can fit 3 or more porgs in a backpack, you should be rethinking your life.
You should go home. Say it again.
Okay. Now, this convention solidified my thought that if you can fit 3 or more porgs in a backpack, then you should rethink your backpacking needs.
You mean that's too big? Is that backpack too big?
Oh, sorry.
Hi, Chica Fent. Yay.
Who's Ruby Rose?
Ruby, I don't know.
Okay. Derailed. So, once again, guess how many backpacks I was hit by during Comic-Con?
5.
I would say about 75.
Wow.
Yeah, and this solidifies my belief that if you can fit 3 or more porgs in a backpack, you should go home and rethink your life.
Oh.
Yes, and I took pictures and posted them on our Facebook group to show everyone how many times I was hit by these big lumbering backpacks.
Yeah, that was pretty bad. Well, to be fair, I mean, this convention, it's so crowded. I think Thursday we had some panels to go to, so I went to those in the morning, and then I was on the show floor for maybe 15 minutes, and that was all I could take because, yeah, you're like being bombarded by backpacks, you're trying to go somewhere, there's a stroller in front of you, someone's walking and then they stop when they get a text, and they like do, and you like run right into them, but then the people behind you are running into you.
That was a bigger problem than being hit by backpacks.
Oh my
People
God.
would walk and stop to send out a text or to do something on their phone,
Yeah.
which would cause a collision of the 75 people in back of you.
Yeah, and I even saw this group of girls walking, and the one in front did this like about face and turned around, and her friend got mad at her. She's like, "Don't ever do that without telling me," because then she had to like go all the way forward and then all the way back because she couldn't turn around. It was really funny.
Well, you did have to check in your common sense before entering Comic-Con, so
Yes.
maybe that has got a lot to do with it.
But despite that, we did have a really good time and had some really cool experiences. And we want to go over some of the news and our experiences that came out of Comic-Con. So, Richard, shall we get into it?
Oh, let's do this.
Okay, so Hall H. On July 20th, Marvel Studios took over Hall H and they revealed their Phase 4 slate of films and Disney Plus TV series. So we are getting 5 movies and 5 TV series in Phase 4. It's going to be over the next 2 years. Now, to read all the details, please head to our website, skywalkingthroughneverland.com. I have a post there with all the details, all, everything that's happening, all the people involved. But now here, we're going to go over a couple of things that stood out to each of us.
Unfortunately, we didn't make it into Hall H because we would have had to have slept over by like Wednesday night.
Yes.
And we weren't going to do that.
Well,
so we just watched our Twitter feed.
Yeah, we did. We were having drinks and watching our Twitter feed.
And that was fine by me.
It really was. Yeah, by Saturday night, we were like done.
But there was one moment I wish I had seen personally. And I think it makes your number 1 on your list.
Okay. Would that have to do with Natalie Portman?
Oh,
our
yes,
Queen
it
of
does.
Naboo?
Our queen.
Okay, Natalie Portman is returning to Marvel, and she's more than Jane Foster, you guys, from Thor. She will be Mighty Thor. So our Queen of Naboo is going to be Mighty Thor, and while I'm happy to see Chris Hemsworth return in Thor 4, I am now more excited to see Natalie Portman wield the mighty Mjolnir. What about you?
Oh, big time. Big time. This makes my number 1 list as well. I wish I'd been in the room to see her swinging Mjolnir around. She's like 5 foot nothing. Like, that hammer's got to be much heavier than she is.
Oh my god, it's so amazing. Like little tiny Natalie Portman being big mighty Thor. I love it.
So I'm very excited to see this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we will see this November of 2021 in Thor Love and Thunder. And they revealed some of these logos for these things, and this logo is like crazy.
Well, the logo looks like it came right off a comic book.
Yeah, it does. Okay. Yeah.
Whereas Ragnarok had that 70s look to it, and that was really taken from the feel of the film.
Yes.
And this one looks, from what I'm seeing, it looks so much like a comic book than the other films.
Does it look like an 80s comic book?
Yeah,
or like
definitely. Yes,
okay.
yes.
Yeah.
Like a mid 80s comic book / animated series.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, so it'll be cool. And Taika Waititi is directing this again. He directed Thor 3, and he's just off the wall. So I expect this film to be a little crazy, and I just can't wait to see Natalie Portman.
I do want to see her wearing the silver helmet with wings. We didn't really get that in the Thor series. Maybe 1 or 2 shots combined. Mm-hmm. So Natalie, you gotta put on the Thor helmet.
That would be amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Or make your hair like that. I don't know. Well, she can't. I mean, Queen of Naboo. Come on. Can you see that? Like a Naboo hairstyle on Thor? I love it.
Yes, I can. All right, what else stuck out for you?
Okay.
So what else stood out for you for the MC? So all right, so name another highlight of the MCU panel.
Okay, so Black Widow will be the first film we're going to get, and David Harbour of Stranger Things, he's Hopper, the cop.
Captain Hopper.
Yes, he is super excited to be in the Marvel Universe. He's going to be playing Alexei, aka the Red Guardian, in Black Widow. Now, since we're not as familiar with the comics, we don't know what the Red Guardian is, but I can't wait to see David Harbour. What about you?
You know what? He didn't really make an impact in Hellboy And he was good in Stranger Things, so I'll have to see. He's one of those actors that really haven't really made an imprint on me yet.
Okay. To me he just has a nice face, one of those kind faces,
Mhm.
and I like seeing that in my films. So I'm
Yeah.
all for it.
He's a good character actor.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I am really excited for Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness.
What a crazy title.
That's the best title of any MCU film that I know.
My goodness.
And this is going to be a horror suspense film, which is awesome that they're continuing to grow in their films.
Right.
Where one is more of a conspiracy theory film and one is more of a comedy like Ant-Man, and then you have a thriller like Captain Marvel, and now you've got a new horror suspense film. They are just doing it right.
I agree. I love that these films have different feels and different just outlooks, and yet it's all Marvel. They all go together. The stories tie together, and that's what matters.
And what's really great is this is going to tie into WandaVision, the series that stars Scarlet Witch and the Vision. So you can watch both of them and get more out of it. It's kind of like watching the Clone Wars. If you see that and then watch the prequels, you can fill in some of the blanks. And I think with WandaVision, it'll do the same thing. You don't have to necessarily see one to make sense of the other, but just to fill in all the gaps, because the MCU is just so dense that whatever they mention, whatever they pass by, or if it's a passing mention of anything, it's going to refer to something. I think those little passing nods will tie into WandaVision, and I just love that kind of filmmaking where it all ties into a nice package.
I agree with you. Now, let's see. So Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness will be out in May of 2021.
Way
too
too long. No.
Yes.
I can't wait that long.
I know. Well, something that's happening in fall of 2020 is the Falcon and the Winter Soldier Disney Plus TV series, which still, again, that's over a year from now. It's like, why can't it be 2019? But no, it's not. But what I'm excited about, I know, of course, the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Anthony Mackie, is going to be awesome. He's like always super fun.
Sebastian Stan is always fantastic as well.
Absolutely.
But we say how far ahead these are in the future, but Force Awakens was 4 years ago, and it seems like yesterday.
Right. But I do want to bring up that they announced at this Hall H panel that Daniel Bruhl will return as the villain of Baron Zemo. And I am excited about this because he was the villain in Captain America Civil War, and basically was so smart that he pitted, Captain America and Iron Man against each other in like the best way possible. So I'm just excited to see what he's going to do. And apparently he will be wearing his famed helmet from the comics, which I know a lot of Marvel fans were super excited about.
I've got no idea what that means.
Well, it's like
But,
and seeing Falcon in his red, suit.
In his spandex outfit.
Thank you. Yeah.
Right. So I'm sure when I see the helmet, I'll be very excited because I love costuming.
Right.
But you know what? Really, I didn't know this character continued on in the Marvel continuity, and he became this villain who had a helmet. Kind of, I'm thinking Magneto.
Yeah, I think it is kind of like Magneto because he's like super smart, and I'm not sure what his powers are. And in fact, I think honestly, Richard, some of our episodes here on Skywalking Through Neverland should be dedicated to learning more about these films before they come out, like the Marvel.
That's what we do.
Yeah.
Whenever we do a whole episode around a new film, we always do the backstories.
Right. So I love doing that, and I'm looking forward to learning more about these series. Now, was there anything else that stood out to you?
Oh, I love the idea of the What If animated series.
Woo!
This is going to be on Disney Plus, and this allows filmmakers to break the continuity without fans going ballistic. And that's such a smart idea. They had a whole comic line of Star Wars comics called What If? What if Darth Vader fought Darth Maul?
Really?
And it was awesome because you really can't do that unless you have a series like What If.
You know what? It's like you're a kid and you have your action figures and you just have all these stories in your head.
Yeah.
You don't care about continuity.
Yeah, when I was a kid, I had my Luke Skywalker, my Buck Rogers action figures,
Yeah.
and they teamed up.
Absolutely.
What if? So this is along those same lines, and now no one can go crazy because it doesn't really tie into the saga, the timeline, because it's just one of these stories. What if this were to happen? And knowing that they're going to do this as an animated series means that the sky's the limit. The only limit is their imagination at this point.
Yeah, it's the first Marvel animated series. Well, at least that is done by Marvel Studios. So I'm excited to see what they're going to do. And also, all of the actors pretty much that they're going to use are going to be reprising their roles from the feature films. So it's kind of like Forces of Destiny, where you had those characters with the same voices.
What if Howard the Duck were to become a Guardian of the Galaxy?
Uh-oh.
Oh, see, it's already starting. What if Daredevil met up and joined forces with Spider-Man? They're in the same city. Why not?
Hey.
What if? My goodness, it's just there's just so much to go with there. Skywalkers, what do you want to see in the What If series? Tweet at us at SkywalkingPod.
All right, once again, if you want to read the full list of everything coming out for Marvel Phase 4, head to skywalkingthroughneverland.com.
And that just scratched the surface. And it looks like that what we had predicted on our last show regarding Phase 4, most of it came true. Except for the acknowledgement of a future Blade movie.
Yeah!
Who saw that coming?
I did not. But this will not be part of Marvel Phase 4. Kevin Feige has mentioned that.
There's like an addendum. Oh, by the way, after Phase 4, we'll get Blade.
And who will be playing Blade?
Cottonmouth from Daredevil.
Right.
Him.
Yeah, that actor.
All right, so there was another panel I was very excited about at Comic-Con. I was even more excited about the Lucas Museum of Narrative Art panel more than the MCU panel.
Wow.
I know, and I've just had such a great interest in this Lucas Museum that's coming here to Los Angeles.
Woo! Right by my alma mater, USC.
Just because we have no information on this, and finally, here they were going to give us a panel that goes into the collection that's going to be in this museum.
Like all the different collections, right?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
And just as a note, they did not give the opening date.
Oh.
So if you're wondering, they did not reveal that.
Okay.
I don't think they even know that.
Okay.
Now, the one question I had was, does everything here belong to George Lucas? And no, it doesn't.
Okay.
So Lucas is more like the springboard. Here you have his collection. Like when you were a kid, you'd bring all your toys over to your friend's house, and they'd bring their toys, and another friend would bring their toys. So you have a big collection of toys.
Okay, that makes sense.
In collection number 1, there's going to be world art before the 1950s.
Okay.
Collection number 2 is American art, Middle West, and muralism, and a lot of Norman Rockwell paintings,
Okay, that
which
makes
we know
sense.
George Lucas has got a lot of.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I was like, that sounds like George Lucas's what he likes.
Another section will be devoted to pulp art from science fiction magazines and book covers, and I just love that stuff. That is art. No Photoshop, just art. There's going to be a section on children's book illustrations.
That sounds cool.
That was really fun. I didn't see that one coming. Another section, which I really got into, was comic art. Sunday comics from early 1900s.
Whoa.
Oh my goodness.
That's going to be like a trip.
That will be that's going back in time, and you can't do a museum like this in a week. You need like a whole month to do this. Boy, talk about taking a head trip back in time. Another area will be devoted to American photography with social critique. They showed a whole bunch of photos in this panel, and by the way, you can see the whole panel because I recorded it, and you can see it on our YouTube channel, Skywalking Through Neverland YouTube channel. The whole entire panel. You can see these slides. I can't do them justice by describing them. You've got to see them.
Now, Richard, will there be Star Wars in this museum?
No. No, of course there's going to be. Of course. Yeah, an overwhelming amount of props that I would think that Lucas would not want to have anything in there because he doesn't want to have people think it's a Star Wars museum, just a museum of narrative art. But come on, you're talking narrative art, you gotta have Star Wars.
Absolutely.
So they showed some slides of lightsabers and a Death Star model that was never shown before.
Wow.
There were some storyboards, some phenomenal stuff. There's some Indiana Jones props, some stuff from Willow.
Whoa.
Yeah, once again, I don't think even a month is gonna do this.
Wow.
And on the cover art of our YouTube video is an aerial shot of the Lucas Museum, a big silver museum.
The concept.
The concept. And someone posted a comment and said, that looks like the bottom of a shoe. And now you can't unsee that.
Oh my
It
god.
does look like the bottom of a shoe.
That's
Of a
funny.
shoe. Before that, I would have thought like a big giant silver
Like ship?
ship. Yeah, almost like if you got
Looks like a spaceship.
Amidala's royal
Yes.
starship from Phantom Menace and to squeeze the middle.
Yep,
It looked like that.
definitely. Well, I do have to mention that, you know, you hear Lucas Museum of Narrative Art and you're like, okay, that it kind of glosses over you and all you think of is George Lucas. But narrative art is art that can tell a story.
Yeah.
So as you're walking through this museum, you should be able to see the story.
When we had visited Skywalker Ranch and saw Lucas's collection of Norman rock, I recall just staring at those paintings for the longest time because they do tell such a story. And to try to figure out where the story starts and ends in a painting is so much fun. Does it start in the middle? Does it start on the outside? What's going on with these paintings? And that's just Norman Rockwell. Now to dive into the photos, the comic
art,
strips,
yeah.
bunch of Flash Gordon stuff. Yeah, so once again, yeah, just, you know what? Just clear a month.
It's going to be amazing. Well, I'm really glad you got to that panel, Richard. And that same day, that was Thursday, was the Her Universe fashion show.
You've been talking about this for how many years?
Well,
and I'm so happy that we were able to attend.
yeah, so this is the 6th annual Her Universe fashion show. And the theme was the power of fashion. So it's celebrating the power of fashion in all its forms, and it was presented by Her Universe, Hot Topic, and She-Ra and the Princesses of Power. So, of course, Ashley came out in this, like, red She-Ra power suit that then transformed into the She-Ra dress. And she has the pose, and it was super cool.
She did a costume change behind a cloud of smoke.
Yes. Yes, she did. And it was really cool.
It was so well done. And once again, I'm so happy that we were able to attend because that's all you've been talking about for 6 years.
I know. I can't believe we haven't been down there. And I think next year, even if we don't go to Comic-Con, we'll go to the Her Universe fashion show. Like, it's a hop, skip, and a jump.
And what seats did we get? Oh yeah, front row.
Right behind the judges.
Uh-huh.
Although, it was great until the judges sat down and, like, the tallest judge was right in front of me. But...
Really?
Well, yeah, but it's okay.
That kid?
No, the tallest judge. The big, tall, the Disney guy.
Oh, he was in front of me. I didn't know he was in front of you, too.
Oh, it's okay.
I would have told him to squish his head down.
No, I mean, I could still see everything. It was great. We just couldn't get the best video that we wanted.
Dude, lower that noggin.
Well, let me give you an overview of the fashion show, just in case you're unfamiliar. Anyone can enter the Her Universe fashion show, and the top 24 finalists compete as they or their models walk the runway. And what they've designed, they have to create a design based on a fandom, and hopefully going with this theme of the year. So the power of fashion, you know, you could have been inspired by Star Wars or Marvel or Disney or even She-Ra, you know, whatever floats your boat. I know a couple years ago someone won doing something from the water movie. Gosh, it was a movie out. Darn it!
The something of water.
Yeah.
The sound of water.
The
water world.
Right. It was like a very random, like it was a new movie out. So you could basically base your design on anything, and you just have to create something really, really cool. And of course, a lot of the designs transformed in some way, which I know it got big oohs and ahs from the audience. So once again, you can see all the fashion, and especially Ashley's different outfit changes on our website. And it's pictures by Brian Sims. So we want to thank Brian for that. And you can head to skywalkingthroughneverland.com to see all of them. But for now, Richard, let's bring up our favorite designs.
Hold on. This just in, The Shape of Water.
The Shape of Water, that's it. Yeah, but she won. She won the Judges Award. So they compete, the 24 finalists compete for the judges' favorite and the audience favorite. So as the audience, you're there. You get to vote on your favorite as well. Now, did you have a favorite design, or am I just going to say mine?
You just do yours.
Okay. All right, so we were watching these, and it was really fun to see these outfits. So you had like this Rey-inspired design that was from the medieval times. So it was like a Rey outfit, but medieval dress. You had like this Oogie Boogie outfit where it was like Oogie Boogie at not a fashion show, but like at a grand ball. So this woman comes out in a big green fur coat, and then she reaches the end of the runway and the lights go off and she opens up her coat and she's got this purple dress on with like bugs on it, because Oogie Boogie has like bugs inside, but it's under black light, so it looks really cool. You know, things like that.
I love that.
That was neat. But my favorite design ended up being the judges' pick, and it was Adria Renee. Now, she created a gown inspired by Jurassic Park, as if the park actually worked and dinosaurs didn't break out. So that was her kind of, that was her inspiration.
So everything happened, so everything ended on a happy note.
Yeah. So her outfit was relatively simple. It was this champagne cocktail dress with green, red, and gold applique and sequins of foliage and dinosaurs. And then she had a champagne shawl and a handbag with the little Jurassic Park logo, and she had put the letters Clever Girl in there. But it was her walk that sold this thing. So she came out stumbling, holding 2 margaritas, just like the guy running in Jurassic World. Do you remember this?
Yeah.
It's like the famous meme.
It was a nod to, oh, dang it.
Yeah.
The Margaritaville guy.
Right,
Oh my
exactly.
goodness. Okay, YouTubers, help us out here.
We're bad. But yeah, so she was running like that. She was kind of stumbling, and she gets to the midway point, and she handed off the drinks, and then she kind of, writes herself up and struts her stuff to the front of the stage, does a pose, and then on the walk back, as she's walking, she's almost done with the runway, she casually brings up both her arms above her head, and the white translucent shawl that's been around her shoulders the whole time flutters down behind her to reveal the letters "When Dinos Ruled the Earth." And it was just like that final hero shot of the Tyrannosaur in Jurassic Park. It was like epic. I don't know how much she practiced this, but like it was perfect, and I like actually cried.
The whole crowd gasped.
Oh my God.
That's how impressive and well coordinated that was.
Oh.
And to let you know, Jimmy Buffett.
Margaritaville. Yeah, but it was, she told a whole story in her walk and just sold that dress. So that was my favorite, and that ended up being the judge's pick.
For good reason.
Yeah, so good job, Adria Renee.
Now, I didn't know that She-Ra and the Princess of Power were so big right now.
It's a new series now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But everyone there, we're all talking about She-Ra, and when she announced She-Ra, everyone went crazy over it.
Yeah, it's her audience.
Yeah. I can think that whole She-Ra He-Man thing, I just went over my head.
I
was like,
watched it.
You know what? I was like a teenager, so
yeah,
I wouldn't.
Too old.
Yeah, so okay.
I watched it a little bit. I remember seeing the He-Man and the She-Ra, but I wasn't like super into it, so I don't remember most of it. I just remember, like, if I saw the openings again, I'd probably be like, oh yeah, I remember.
And this show was about 3.5 hours, and it didn't feel like it.
No.
It pretty much flew by. It was a very, very tight show. Now, one thing I gotta mention, you know when you go to a hockey game, you kind of wait for the fight to break out?
Oh, okay.
So when watching a runway show, you're waiting for someone to fall.
Oh.
And you don't want it to happen.
No.
But yet you kind of know what's gonna happen.
Well, yeah, I mean, most of these women create their dresses, and there was one guy, they create their dresses and they do the runway walk, and they're not used to it.
No, not at all.
No.
But there was only one incident where someone slipped, but they got to the end, the far end, before they were going to turn and go backstage, they turned and slipped. And
Yeah.
But you know what? They got up with grace, like, hey, this is bound to happen.
Yes.
So great on them.
Yes.
So if there was an MVP of the fashion show, it was that woman who fell. She
She-
got up, was like, hey, you know what? I'm not a model. Deal with it.
She was in the Maleficent inspired piece, which
Oh,
was
yeah, there you
really
go.
cool.
Yeah.
Poor Maleficent. All right, well, it was so cool, and I can't wait to go next year. And if you guys have the opportunity to attend the Her Universe fashion show, please, please do. All right. Yeah. No? Okay.
Not much to say there.
Yeah. Okay. Well, also at San Diego Comic-Con this year, I got to check off a bucket list item.
Yeah, you did. You were on a panel.
I was a panelist at San Diego Comic-Con. So I want to thank Neil Halford of Uncharted Regions, who brought together a team of podcasters to do a panel called Heroes on the Mic. What does it take to build a podcast and reach your audience? So we got to talk about kind of our triumphs and challenges of doing podcasts, including, so I talked about Skywalking Through Neverland and Fangirls Going Rogue, and we also had on that panel Kenneth Rotter of Dumbbells and Dragons, Caitlin of Pangeekery, Aaron Nabis from the Hall H podcast, and also Marcus Vaughn from The Jig Is Up. So thank you once again to Neil.
There were a lot of podcasting panels at Comic-Con.
Yeah.
They were held at the library, which
Yeah.
was a good location for that.
Yeah, it's about a 10-minute walk away from the convention center. So we didn't get a lot of like foot traffic, but we got a lot of dedicated traffic in that panel. Now, also, you know, we did a lot at San Diego Comic-Con itself, but we took Saturday to do a lot of off-site events, because by Saturday we were kind of like, oh, I can't do any more show floor, like it's too crowded.
Yeah, we were just so bruised from all the pushing and stroller bumping and backpack pushing that, all right, we gotta do some of this stuff here. But the last time we were at Comic-Con, we did a lot of these off-site parties, and they were so much fun. And there was, I think this time, even more parties that we had to attend.
Yes.
They weren't just parties, but they were like carnivals. Fox Animation had a fun carnival. You could play games and win prizes. They had a big Ferris wheel with Homer Simpsons all over them.
Yeah!
South Park had a little miniature golf putting course.
That's right!
I love that.
Yeah,
I love that.
Shazam had like a whole setup, like you went to the Shazam Carnival.
The Winter Carnival,
Yeah.
like in the movie, and you can win prizes there.
They had like the Discovery had a shark experience. What is it? Shark Week?
Shark
They
Week.
were promoting Shark Week, which I believe starts this week. And they had this giant shark, which every so often you'd feed the shark, and it was like a motorized mouth that would like crush anything in it. So that was really cool.
And this shark was like the size of like 5 old Lincoln cars.
Yeah.
And those Lincoln cars are huge. And this thing was ginormous.
Yeah, and
Kind of scary.
It was. And right across the street from the library, the San Diego Library, we came across the Orville Experience.
This is one of those things that if you blink, you're gonna miss it. Because it's tucked away in San Diego proper.
It was. And what they had was this room, and it had props and costumes.
It had
and,
makeup appliances.
Yeah, makeup and stuff from the Orville, the show. So, and this is like my favorite show on TV right now. So I really loved seeing all these things.
The best thing about it is you could touch the stuff.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if they wanted you to touch the stuff.
But they weren't stopping us.
But if you aren't going to have guards or a velvet rope, I'm touching stuff.
And there was the model, the Orville model, and it was big. It was like probably the size of a desk, and you could walk fully around it and see all the detail on that. It was super cool. I loved doing that.
It had the core crew's jackets and their uniforms, and I've always wanted to feel that material. It's like a very heavy polyester. Ever wear polyester under big hot lights?
Ooh.
Yeah, you get really sweaty really quick, but they're so well made.
Yeah.
Loved it.
Now we also got to go to the Comic-Con Museum, which is celebrating 80 years of Batman. Now, Richard, do you want to talk about this?
They had inducted Batman as the first character into
Comic-Con Museum Hall of Fame.
Yeah, something to that effect.
Yeah.
So it was a big ordeal. So they had a lot of Batman exhibits. They had costumes from all the Batman movies up to the series Gotham. I just wish...
They're the Batmobiles!
I just wished they had started not with the Michael Keaton 1989 Batman costume, but the Adam West TV Batman costume.
Yeah.
I've never seen a museum or an exhibit that had that old spandex suited Batman next to the armored Batman. That would be the funniest photo ever. Why they didn't have that, I don't know. Although,
of note, we did get the Batman from with the nipples.
Oh, Batman and Robin.
Yeah.
There was Batman Returns, Batman Forever, Batman and Robin.
That looked really bad. And the Robin's outfit too.
Oh yeah. The Chris O'Donnell Robin suit, the Mr. Freeze, the the Arnold Schwarzenegger Mr. Freeze costume, which is ginormous.
Yeah.
That's a big costume. They had Poison Ivy's costume. Then on the other side of this center display stand was the suits from the series Gotham.
Right.
And wow, so much care is put into all of these costumes. And once again, to see them up close is just phenomenal.
Another thing to see up close was the Batmobiles.
They had the Batmobile from the 1989 Batman. They had the George Clooney Batmobile.
Okay, that one was really cool because it has this giant fin from the back of it, and it's so big and so tall that you can't back up enough to take a picture and get it all in there. Like, it was very impressive.
Yeah, huge. They also had the Batman masks from the Christopher Nolan Batman film, which was the only Batman where Batman could turn his head left and right. And then finishing up with the Ben Affleck Batman cowl. They had Joker outfits, Riddler outfits. They had old comic artwork. Beautiful, beautiful display.
Right.
Except for the omission of the 1966 Batman, which I'm not sure why they didn't have anything there. A lot of the stuff was taken from Batman Forever with Val Kilmer.
Yes.
I don't know why, but they really emphasized on Batman Forever.
Maybe they just had a lot of the
Yeah.
costumes from that one.
Right.
But then you went downstairs and they had a room where they had a punching bag, and every time you punched the bag it had, well, this was your 1960s room, because didn't they have like comic versions of the bad guys?
Yeah, so
that you could punch on the bag and then the whole room would have the pow, bam, smash. Like,
It was a punching bag. Whenever you punched it, the big side LED screen walls would go pow, crash, whoom, bam.
it was cool.
That was, and if you, is that still up on our Instagram?
Yeah, so I was going to say, all of these experiences, we did an Instagram story that day, and you can still see some of that under our saved highlights on our Instagram Skywalking Pod profile. So make sure to head there and look at the highlights.
Yeah, I like that. But what else was down on that bottom floor?
Also, a bunch of the costumes and creations from previous Her Universe fashion shows, and also this year's fashion show. So we went there on Saturday after the Thursday fashion show, and I got to see up close and in person that Jurassic Park beautiful gown. So that was really neat to see.
At some point, you got to bring back that scarf. That scarf
did you take
that?
Amazing. Oh.
No? Okay.
No.
Keep going.
Okay, I'll keep going.
But what was really impressive was the Ahsoka Lego dress.
Seeing that in person was the coolest thing ever. That thing weighs like 20 pounds.
And it's, yeah. And to see the little kids walk up to it and they want to play with it.
Yeah.
It's Lego. What are you supposed to do?
Exactly.
When I say little kids, I meant me.
Yes. Well, there was one other offsite event that we did that touched my heart.
Yeah.
Can we talk about it?
Oh, let's dive deep into this.
This was the Starfleet Museum. So what happens during Comic-Con weekend is they take an art gallery, will change into like a Comic-Con museum, and in this case, it changed into a Captain Picard museum, mostly to promote the new and what is it, CBS?
Mm-hmm.
CBS All Access series, Star Trek Picard. Ah!
Yeah, this is the time when you told me to go take a walk and you need some time by yourself.
Oh my god! It's Picard. Okay, he's my captain. Okay. Obviously, I'm a big TNG fan. And so when we walk in this museum, there's this like giant portrait of Picard, and I of course got my photo with it. And as you're walking through the museum, you see like his uniforms. You see the Captain Picard Day banner that the kids created for one of the episodes. You also you also see the wine bottles from Chateau Picard, where Captain Picard retired to. He retired to France and to the chateau where it's a winemaking, place. His family is winemakers. So that was cool to see. But my favorite thing. So that was cool to see. And then we also saw tea. We saw his tea set and some teacups. But my favorite thing, we were walking in a room, and first of all you hear this flute play, and then you see the flute. It's the Rutger flute from the episode The Inner Light, which is in season 5, episode 25 of The Next Generation. And I was like crying. You saw me, right?
Oh yeah.
I was
you were a mess.
I was touched. Because this episode of this show is very Picard centric, and what happens is he basically lives a whole 40 years of life, and seconds pass for the Enterprise crew, but he lives this whole life where he becomes a grandpa, he plays a flute, and the only thing that's left from this 40 years that he's lived when he gets back to the Enterprise is this flute. So and he finds he can still play it even after doing this. So you really have to see the episode. I don't want to say too much about it.
This is like Steve Rogers at the end of Endgame.
Kind of, yeah. It's like he went to an alternate timeline for 40 years,
and
but
came
only
back
2 seconds passed. Yeah, exactly.
Right. Came back as an old man.
Yeah, and it's just this episode. It's one of the best Next Generation episodes, by all fans. Pretty much are like, yes.
And when
must see the Inner Light.
When does Picard debut?
I think it's not till hopefully early 2020. I mean, they're promoting it, but it's definitely 2020. So, yeah. It's like spring 2020. Excuse me, guys. Picard is stuck in his...
Will debut at the end of 2019.
Dynamo, thank you. At the end of 2019? Because they were saying 2020. That's December 4th, 2018, so that's probably not up to date. Dynamo75 says...
It's early 2020.
Okay.
So now, when does Picard debut?
In early 2020 on CBS All Access, which we just subscribed to so we can catch up on Star Trek Discovery.
That'll be here in a snap.
Oh, a Thanos snap?
Yes, it is. Crossing franchises there.
Crossing the streams.
All right, Skywalker. So those were our highlights from Comic-Con this last weekend. Did you go? If so, what were some of your highlights? Tweet at us, and if you didn't go, let us know what you had thought of was the best highlight watching from afar from your social media.
Also, on our YouTube channel, look for a video of the Lucasfilm Pavilion. We went anticipating just going through what was available at the Lucasfilm Pavilion and ended up having lots of fun interviews with all the people involved, including Allison of Rock Love Jewelry and Tom Spina of Regal Robot.
We met up with Cole Horton in there. James Floyd told us all about the Del Rey offerings.
Yeah.
Lots and lots of stuff. Lots and lots of stuff for you to enjoy.
So head to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/skywalkingthroughneverland.
And enjoy.
Perfect. Oh, I see Dynamo. Okay. Just his opinion. I can't wait, though. I can't wait for that series.
Do you get
Okay.
some water?
Yeah.
In fact,
Should we pause it? Do you need
yeah,
to pause it?
we get a pause.
Okay. All right, guys. Woo. Wow.
What?
What's that? 5.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Ready?
All right,
All right.
everybody, I gotta go to work, so we're gonna
Yeah.
record the rest of this episode later on.
But I will start editing it
That would
so
be
we can
great.
get this out.
By Friday.
Yay.
All right, bye everybody.
And look for a new video up on our channel shortly, because that's what I'm doing next.